who's doing his books and finds out that he probably could make more money with a flop than he can with a hit if he oversells to his backers. But he has to flop, because if he doesn't, he's oversold and he'll go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he really comes up with an unusual play that he's found that he thinks is for sure going to flop.
That was the Franz Liebman.
Yeah, it's called Springtime for Hitler,
Yeah,
if that tells you anything.
Liebken, that's what it was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Franz Liebken is the author of it in the play. And anyway, the show ends up being a hit, even though it's hysterically bad. It ends up being a hit probably because it's so hysterically bad. Everybody thinks, oh, well, this is why it's so funny, because it's so horrible. So then he ends up, going to jail, and they also meet a young Swedish girl who's Ulla, played by Sarah Priceless, and
that's just not her name. I mean, her name is so long. I couldn't even pronounce it.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the script to say it. Yeah, they even say there's a line in the show where she says her name to Max, who is played by Jeff Baldwin. Yeah, and she says her name. She says he says, that's your first name? And she says, yes. Would you like to hear my last name? And he says, I don't think we have time. And then there's another time where they're reading a review from the show because it's a hit, and they repeat this name that's like 12 words, and they say, soon her name will probably be in lights if they could find enough light bulbs.
Okay.
It's that type of humor throughout the show.
Mm-hmm. So what, Manny, what is it that brings you to this play? What is it that drives you to direct these guys and for this?
Well, it's a lot of fun, number one, but I've been doing this for, 47 years or so.
You got to turn your headphones. You got a little bit crooked there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the earphone, the earpiece. The other one. There you go.
Is that better?
Well, no, it's okay. It's got to be turned sideways there. No, hold on. That way you can hear.
Oh, he had.
There you go. Now you can hear.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
great,
You got both ears going now. Okay. Sorry for the delay, guys. Well, that's fantastic. You've got some great characters, some great actors in this play.
Yeah, we have some wonderful performers who have been doing this for a long time, and they bring a lot to the table. I think the audiences should be pleased. There's a lot of people who are novice also, but they're learning so much from working with this type of caliber of performers. I'm really enjoying myself. From day one, I've always enjoyed doing theater, and I remember when I was a kid, I always thought I wanted to do this, but I was always too intimidated and too shy, and finally, I got into it in high school. Some friends said, if you don't do this, we can't do the show. We got to have this little bit part. And then, it bit me, and I kept doing it.
Cool.
So 47 years later, I'm still playing.
Oh, my gosh. That's a long time. That's a long time. Now, what is it that brings people to the Crieghton? I know it's an historic theater. I've done quite a lot of performances over at the Owen, but not one here at the Crieghton. I really do want to. What is it that brings them to it? What is it?
Well, I think one of the things is, especially if you haven't done professional theater and been in such a fabulous theater as the Crieghton, you have the fly system, you have the ambiance of a theater that was built in 1934 for vaudeville. It's just a fabulous experience. The other thing is, and I can't speak for the Owen because I haven't had the pleasure of working over there, but our producers, Stephen and Carolyn Wong, are just so phenomenally supportive to the director and to the performers to try to make sure that it's a great performance and everybody has a great family time at the same time.
You're not the only one who says that about them.
Oh, it's just so true. I love working with them. I've known Carolyn for years. I used to be on stage with her years and years ago, and then I had gotten out of it a couple years, and she says, I really need a director. I'm starting a new theater group. And I kept saying, oh, geez. But she says, it was at the Crieghton Theater. And I said, between you and Steve's personality and being in the Crieghton Theater, I'll be there. Just tell me when. And I had a great time. I used to direct at the Crieghton Theater for the Players when they were there. And I always had a great time. just a fabulous facility.
How many members are in this cast? I heard it was huge.
There's at least 30.
Oh, my gosh.
There's going to be at least 30.
How do you control all those?
Can I chime in at this point?
Absolutely, Tina. Absolutely. We have Tina as our guest here. Welcome, Tina.
Hey, glad to be here. First off, I want to say that Manny is a great director, and they all know that he's been in theater for years, and they respect him as a good leader and a director. They know they will learn by him. At first, they might think he's a little tough, but by the time they leave the theater, they have learned so much respect that they never had before for anyone. I mean, he teaches them respect for the theater, the directors, everybody on board, and they come out as a family. I mean, he's just a wonderful person to work for, and you're going to get a good show. And I want to say, last year he won the award for top play at the Montes for Singing in the Rain. He directed Singing in the Rain.
Ah, that's a great play.
Yes.
Good one.
And he's done many plays before, and they're all outstanding. So you have people, when they see him, they want to work under him.
Great.
They want to learn by him. They know they'll leave with a lot of knowledge.
That's too kind. Thank
Well,
you so much.
it's the truth.
But the reward is mine. I have a wonderful time working with everybody, and I always come out feeling like I'm the lucky one. I got to work with all these wonderful people.
Speaking of all these wonderful people, how is it to cast this crew? I mean, you must have had absolutely fantastic auditions for this.
We did. We had a lot of people come out for the auditions, and it was actually tough because there was a couple people that I said, gosh, I wish I could have 2 leads, or I could have 2 of these. And in 2 of the instances, I do. I have 2 understudies going on. One is for Roger Debris, and the other one is for Carmen. Those are the characters in the play. And I'm telling you, between the 4 of them, they all bring something different, unique, and wonderful to the table. I couldn't say, oh, you really don't want to see the understudies, you want to see the leads. You can't say that. They're all wonderful. And it's been a great experience for me to work and watch them grow. I think that's the most reward to me, is I watch people grow on the stage.
That's got to be
it.
so hard as a director. To oh my gosh, which do I choose? What do I do? And I've directed before, but it's got to be tough.
Well,
it really is.
I have a great time.
Got a great cast.
Yes.
Jeff Baldwin, Tim Eggert. You've got Kat Gilchrist. I mean, those are just the few that I do know. And the people that are not. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, and you can tell the cast respects them because they're in awe when they watch them perform, because these are the kind of people, when they're performing or when they're rehearsing, they're performing. They're not saying, okay, well, it's just a rehearsal. No, they're giving you a performance out there, and I respect that so highly.
You've got to rehearse like that, otherwise you're not going to perform like that.
Exactly, and you don't find that so often, especially in community theater. But the nice thing is when you have that kind of a cast, you're bringing the level up, so it's not necessarily community theater anymore. You've gone beyond that.
That's right.
And
That's right.
I'm proud to be a part of that.
That's fantastic. Now, one more little question before we sign off here. I do know that the Crieghton Theater is a family-oriented facility, and this play isn't.
Well, that's very interesting. But, last year when I was directing Singing in the Rain, they put out their plays for people to suggest. And then there was 3 top plays, and Producers was one of them. So then during the run of Singing in the Rain, the audiences got to vote what they wanted to see. And Producers was what the audience picked. So this is something that's a cater to the audience. It wasn't something that somebody at Stage Right said, okay, we're going to do this show and we don't care and blah, blah, blah. They put it out there for the audience to pick.
Well, that's a wonderful thing for Carol and Steve to just go ahead and do that and say, hey, this is it. And the audience did it.
Yeah, and right. So it's their choice. So they should love it.
Well, yeah, of course. With a cast like that and a director like you, I mean, how can you not enjoy it?
Well,
a beautiful theater like this.
Yeah, it's stunning.
Tell everybody when the opening night.
The opening is Friday, week from
this Friday. Week from tomorrow.
Week from tomorrow, the 12th. And we'll run 3 weekends.
And you go to stage-right.org for tickets, or the Crieghton Theater.
Correct.
For tickets.
Yep.
Fantastic. You do have matinees available, and
there are 2 Sunday matinees.
And how long does the show last? What's the?
I'm going to say
I'm putting you on a spot here,
sure
Manny.
Did because we've been rehearsing and trying to get through it all the way to get it timed, but there are so many set changes and pieces, and we're trying to organize that right now. There's got to be 20-plus wagons going off and on the stage that make up the sets. I'm going to say it's going to be about 2 hours and 20 minutes to 2.5 hours.
Very good. Very good. There's one little question I have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to have the old ladies with their little walkers?
Absolutely.
You going to do that scene? Oh, that is such a wonderful scene.
They actually do a whole dance with the walkers.
Right.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Fantastic. A wonderful scene. Well, Manny, thank you so much. It was great to have you here. Thank you again for coming. And once the show starts and stuff, and you might have some wonderful tales and wonderful stories and stuff that you could partake, I'd love to have you back.
Thank you so much.
That'd be
Thanks
fantastic.
for having me this evening.
Tina, what would you like to say?
Yes, I want to say something. I want to give out the phone number for tickets.
Sure.
It's going to be 936-441-7469, 936-441-7469. You can call the number there and get your tickets. You can also go online, like you were saying earlier, www.crichtontheater.org. And it's right here in downtown Conroe, and we expect a full house. So y'all get your tickets early.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Manny, again. I appreciate it. It's the producers at the historic Crieghton Theater, opening February the 12th. Have a good show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for checking out a podcast on Lone Star Internet Radio. Lone Star Internet Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas. If you are interested in sponsoring a program for Lone Star Internet Radio, just visit us online at irlonestar.com or message us on Facebook. We are always taking song requests on Twitter, and if you are interested in getting involved with the station by either hosting your own show or if you want to be a DJ, just contact Dick at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Internet Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station.